Hey guys, thank you for stopping by my channel. If you like the videos, then make sure to subscribe and turn on post notifications. If you want to leave any feedback, that's always appreciated down in the comments. And if you want to keep up with this series as well as my other projects, then go ahead and join our Discord, which is on the screen. Take care, nerds. Now on to the video. Hey guys, welcome to episode 14 of my Discord.js series. And this episode and the next couple ones, we're going to be working on something that's been highly requested by you guys. And that's an economy system for the Lincoln bot, the tutorial bot that we've been working on. So basically, an economy system allows people to use currency that they can receive either through messages or other means, and they can use that to buy stuff or be higher up on the leaderboard whatsoever. It's pretty common in bots, but I've heard a lot that there aren't really any good up-to-date tutorials, I guess, on how to use an economy bot or make one, so that's what we're going to be starting to do today. In this video, we're going to do two things. The first thing is we're going to be looking at the model and a couple new functions that I have added off screen, but I'm going to go ahead and talk through those functions so you can get an understanding of what's going on. And secondly, we're going to talk about how users are going to get those coins, and we're going to be doing that in the message event. And basically, whenever a user sends a message, either a command or a message in general, they'll have a chance of gaining coins. And we're going to be using a certain algorithm for how coins would be generated, and not only would the algorithm apply to that, but it'll also apply to not just every message, but it could be like random messages. Anyways, the first thing we're going to look at is a new MongoDB schema that we have created here in the models folder. So this schema is called profile. And we're not just going to be calling it coins or whatsoever. We're going to call it profile because down the road you might want to put other stuff in the user profile, or I might put other stuff here in this profile in the series. But basically we just have the guild information here, the user information, so just the ID and username. Then we have coins and level, and then any boosters. And boosters and level, we might talk about that in the future, but I just have that here for now kind of as placeholder information. Anyways, we kind of did things differently here with the coins field and level field. So before we can just put string, but we turned this from a string itself into an object. And we put two different types here, two different properties. The type property and the default property. So if you hover over type, it's a number constructor for Mongoose, and it's the same as putting in user ID, string, or number. And then we can assign this a default value. In this case, we're going to assign it 0. So when the new profile is created in the database, the default amount of coins they will have is 0. And then we go through the rest of the normal process here, such as exporting the model. Then the next thing is here in the index file in the models folder, we just export it here as profile. And then we add some functions to complement this. So we added the create profile method, the get profile method, and the update profile. Also, just some really minor tweaks I made. I removed the parentheses off of here, so it's just a single parameter. So with ES6 syntax, if it's just one single parameter for a method or a function, you don't have to put parentheses here. And if there are more than one, like here, make sure you surround the parameters with parentheses. And next, we went over here to the guild member add event, and what we're doing is when a new user joins the guild, a new profile will be created for them. So we pass in some defaults here, like you see in the schema, and that will just be the guild information and user information. And then we run the method that we created here in the functions file. That is going to wrap things up regarding the new functions that we added, the change in the guild member add event, and the new profile model. If you want to go ahead and grab all this code, just check down in the description and you can see more of the specifics here, so you can help yourself out with this code. So before we continue on with the coin system, I just want to remind you guys that I am doing the code challenge here on my channel. It's pretty simple. You can code part of the bot and you have a chance of winning Discord Nitro. It's a way for me to give back to you guys as well as challenge you guys and see where you have been so far in the series. So if you want to read more or see more information about that, hit the I button in the top right. Now let's move on to the message event. So basically, whenever a user sends a message, they'll receive X amount of coins. And the number of, it's not going to be every single message, it's going to be between every 2 to 5 messages. Next, we're going to issue X amount of coins to the user. So this is kind of just like a low threshold, but you're free to change this if you want. You don't have to strictly stick to this threshold in the tutorial. Anyways, the user will receive between 1 and 5 coins. Next, we're just going to get the current amount of coins the user has, add that amount to the new number of coins, either between 1 and 5, and with that new coin amount, that will be updated in the database. So we're going to be writing a function for that, and I'm just going to break down how the function is going to work in the algorithm that I discussed before. So we're going to put this right below where it's checking if the bot, so we don't want to give any coins to bot users. And next, we don't want to run this code after the checks the prefix, because before all the lines after this just deals with the command handler. So we're just going to check it right between this if statement here and this if statement. So the first thing that we're going to write here is we're just going to write the variable that's going to get checked for the messages and the variable that's going to check for the amount. So first variable that we're going to put in is count check. So this checks for the message. Actually, we're just going to call it message check. And we're going to do math.floor and math.random. Multiply that by 10 for this threshold, so it's between actually 1 and 10. Actually have to put in another parentheses here. So that's going to be the message check. Next, we're going to generate the coin amount that that user will be receiving. So we're going to call this coin amount. And again, this will be between 1 and 5 coins. So we're just going to do math.random. And we're adding that +1 because if we just do math.random, it'll sometimes will be 0, and we don't want just 0. So that's why we're adding +1 here. Then I'm just going to put a little debug here. So I'll output in console just the amount of coin, like the message check and the coin check, just so we can see that. So we'll have message check, and then we're going to pass through this variable that we created above. And then we're going to put a string here, coin check, so we know it's the coin check variable that we're outputting in console. Coin amount, that should be. Then we're going to check if the count message check, we're going to check here if it's greater or equal to 2, and if it's greater or if it's less than or equal to 5. So if it's between 2 and 5, we're just going to continue the code here. I'm going to put a try catch block. Alright, so we're just going to do this. We're going to be creating this function in a few moments, but this function is going to be called update coins. And we're going to pass through 3 different parameters. First is going to be the client. Next, we're going to pass through the user, which is going to be the message.author. And then we're going to pass in the coin amount. And that's how we're going to have this here. Then outside at the bottom of this file, we're going to write an async function called update coins. And it's going to take in client user amount. And what we're going to do is we're going to fetch the user in the database, get their profile. We're going to do const user equals, and we're going to use that get profile method that we created. Now we're going to get the new amount, get the user coins plus the amount that we have passed through in this function. Then we can just do client.update profile. First parameter is pass in user. Second parameter is going to be this object right here. So we'll just do coins and then new amount. And we're going to go ahead and run that. Now pay attention to this, as there's a reason why I have left some stuff out so far. And I'll explain that. Because yes, we are creating the profile for the user if they just join the server. But it may already be the case when you're implementing this with users who are already in your guild. Because I'm going to go ahead and start typing messages. So I'm going to type hello. Count amount is not defined because I made a typo. Okay, so I'm just gonna go ahead and do that, and you see it's exporting that. Identify user has already been declared. Interesting. Oh, I'll just say profile. So as you see, it's outputting in console, the coin check that we're checking for. Now, it says here cannot read property coins of undefined. And the reason why it's saying that, because it can't find a user for this. It can't find this user's profile in the database. So if it can't find the user's profile in the database, then we're going to have to do something about that. And we're going to do similar to what we did here in the guild member add event. We're going to take this object right here, this new profile object. We're going to change this up. I have to change up a few things actually. Give me a moment. I have to check something. Okay, so I'm actually going to change this to message.member. And what we're going to do instead is we're going to change this parameter to member. And here we have this. So it'll be message.member, then a user. We can get the tag, ID. And the reason why I changed it to message.member is so we can get the guild information for this user. Now, here for the profile check. If there's no profile, we're just going to create a new profile. And we're going to pass in that new profile object. And one more thing, we're just going to console.log the updated coin amount just so we know that it's actually working once we implement this change, which will be the new amount. So cannot read property coins of undefined. Right. I'm gonna try something. Profile dot. And then we're just gonna do profile.coins equals data.coins. And with that said, I'm gonna go in here, delete this newly created profile, because that check here, basically, we want to make sure we can still get these coins, we can still access these coins even though the new user is newly created. So I'm just going to type in hello. Interesting. Okay. I thought that I can get away with something there, but I'll do this. I'm going to do a little ternary operator. So if this is true, we'll add that, but if it's false, we'll just do 0 plus the amount. Let's do the amount if it's false. Just so we can skip that error, because basically you just can't, even though the profile is already created at this line, this profile variable is already in memory. So in memory, it's not fetching this new profile that's created here, hence why I have to go ahead and do this ternary operation here so we have something that we can still set. And that's just a typo right there. Right. Typos. Always read your code, guys. If you're seeing any issues, syntax, typos, it's 99% of the time, well, I'll be a little bit safe, 95% of the time just as simple as reading your code. But I don't think it created that profile yet, right? No, just delete that. Yo, test. There we go. Just like that. That's the basis of the whole algorithm. So just a rundown. Here we create the algorithm. I'll add these X's since we added these. Right, so we have just a threshold of 10. So the higher you can raise this threshold, higher or lower, it's up to you. Lower will be more frequent, higher will be less frequent. Then with the coin amount, we do between 1 and 5 coins. Here we're console logging to check that it's working. With this if statement, we're checking if the message count is greater than 2 and less than 5. If so, we're going to go ahead and update the coins for that user with this update coins function that we created here at the bottom of the profile. And in this function, if it's a user that does not exist yet in the database, then we'll go ahead and create that profile in the database and add their respective coin amounts, which would be 0 since there's no profile in the database, plus the amount of coins, which would just be like 1 coin or 5 coins whatsoever. And again, this is configurable and customizable however you wish to do it. And we just have some console outputs again, just so we can see what's going on. But that's the basis of it. And it's not going to stop here, because in the next video, we're going to set up a couple commands that are related to the economy. So commands to check your own coins, you can pay your friends a certain amount of coins, and you can see where you stand in the leaderboard. Because not only are we just going to do economy, but I also want to mix in maybe a bit of an XP system, but overall like leaderboard. And then maybe some administrative commands as well, so administrators can reset balances, add coins to balances, or remove coins from balances, as well as a shop, so you can buy stuff such as role names or role colors. You can buy nickname permissions, different permissions like that. Maybe like you can purchase a pinned message. So you might want to set some cool pinned message in one of your channels, just different ideas like that. But I also want you guys to pitch in ideas in the description, or in the comments, so we can work on this together going forward. So that's going to wrap up things here. One more thing that I do want to say before I go is I kind of need a profile picture for the Lincoln bot. I said I was going to get one at some point, like way back, but I just haven't really gotten around to it. But go ahead and join the Discord here, Nerd Cave Development. Invite link is in the description. And leave some cool images that you guys have in mind for the bot. And I will update it once I have like an image that I like and the community likes. So yeah guys, we're going to wrap it up here. Anyway nerds, I'll see you in the next one. Peace.